In the grand trial court of the Jezavir Empire, Luna White stands accused, her heart pounding in her chest as a single damning piece of evidence is presented: a sparkling red earring. A cold dread washes over her as she realizes this is the very earring she lost, the one she should have gone back for. The witness stand is taken by a blonde woman named Callista, who swears an oath to the light divine lord, her voice ringing with false sincerity. Callista testifies that the earring undoubtedly belongs to Luna, recalling how she had proudly shown off the ruby embedded in it. The courtroom erupts in whispers, the crowd's suspicion turning to certainty as they brand her a collaborator with a heathen cult. The judge silences them with a sharp bang of his gavel and asks if Luna left during the dance. Callista confirms it, stating that Luna's dance partner Nisha can prove she missed their opening dance. With a serene smile, Callista is dismissed. The judge's voice booms, declaring that not only was the earring found in a secret room, but so were dark magic books and forbidden potions. The verdict is swift and brutal. To appease the god of light, the evil witch Luna White will be burned at the stake. Her friends cry out in disbelief, and her sister Lexi lunges forward in a desperate rage, only to be restrained. Luna, ignoring her own fate, smacks her hands on the railing and screams that this has nothing to do with her family, begging them not to punish her brother Pedro and sister Lexi. But the sentence for the White family is already decided. For failing to raise his daughter properly, Pedro White will be hanged, but the king, seeing his loyalty, has shown mercy. Their death sentences are pardoned, but their titles are stripped, their wealth confiscated, and the entire family is to be exiled to a mine on the border. Despair crushes Luna as she stares into the abyss of her ruined life, wondering how everything went so wrong. Her eyes desperately search for help, landing on Nisha, then Laird, and finally Hubert. But all she finds are cold, averted gazes. The truth hits her like a physical blow. No one is coming to save her. As the world fades, she wonders if this is truly the end, if she will die in both the game and reality. Her eyes snap open with a start. This isn't the courtroom, it's a lavish, unfamiliar bedroom. A holographic screen materializes before her, welcoming user 381 to a game where she must play a holy temple servant and win the love of multiple male characters. The name of the game sends a jolt through her: the Garden of Eden. The very same game her friend Lin Lin was desperate to play. Exhausted from working overnight, she remembers filling out the beta test reservation for her friend before collapsing into sleep. A memory of a loading era message flashes in her mind, and the horrifying truth solidifies: she's been transmigrated into the game. Overwhelmed by the fear that she died from overwork in her world, she forces herself to calm down, deciding this is better than dealing with difficult clients. Looking in the mirror, she sees her new face for the first time, admitting she's actually quite cute. She pulls up the game's system menu, browsing the profiles of the male leads: Hubert, Nisha, and Laird. Her main mission is to capture all 4 male leads to return to her world. But then she clicks on the character introduction for the game's protagonist, and her world shatters for a second time. The protagonist isn't her, it's Callista. She's just a side character, a villain destined for a terrible end. She curses Lin Lin for dragging her into this mess. Rewind 3 days, Luna, as she's now called, tries to make sense of her new life. She knows she's not the hero, and none of the male leads will likely fall for her. She overhears her maids gossiping about her recent change in behavior after losing a sword fight to Laird. A maid informs her that Laird himself has just arrived, and a spark of determination ignites within her. This is her first chance to change her fate, to turn his negative favorability into something positive. But the moment she calls out to him, she watches the favorability bar drop even lower. He asks her what she wants, his voice dripping with impatience. She freezes, utterly flustered, and he scoffs, accusing her of faking an injury for attention before dismissing her completely. Fuming, she thinks he's the absolute worst. Just then, a butler reveals Laird left behind important documents, giving her the perfect excuse to follow him. But as she reads through them, she finds numerous letters of complaint about the original Luna's atrocious behavior, confirming she's inherited the body of a spoiled, talentless brat. Arriving at the palace, she chooses a different path than before and promptly collides with a silver-haired man. As he apologizes, his student Nisha rushes over. A system notification unlocks a new character as Nisha gently helps her to her feet. He introduces himself as Nisha Ian, and his favorability bar instantly rises. Elated, Luna thinks he's 1,000 times better than the arrogant Laird. As Nisha and his teacher leave, they speak in hushed tones about their plan being exposed and the arrival of a new traveler. Later, while enjoying the palace garden, she spots Hubert with the true protagonist, Callista. The sight fuels her resolve. She needs to move quickly and capture a low-difficulty target before Callista claims them all. Nisha is her best bet. Back at the White family estate, her sister Lexi finds her in the swordsmanship field, surprised to see her practicing something she used to hate. Lexi gently wipes the sweat from her face, telling her not to worry about losing to Laird and reminding her that her family will always be there for her. Lexi then drags her to a tailor shop for a new dress fitting. The tailor fawns over her, saying Lexi insisted on the most gorgeous design. As a maid carries away her old clothes, Luna notices something strange. Two of the dresses are completely identical. While pondering this, she overhears the tailor gushing about another client, young Master Lachlan, who Luna realizes is Laird. The tailor complains about his difficult request for a custom shirt pattern, and on a whim, Luna suggests using borage, the fountain of courage. The tailor loves the idea. On her way home, Luna stops to help an old woman named Farah whose potatoes have spilled all over the street. Grateful, Farah invites her to her restaurant for dinner. Stepping inside the restaurant later that evening, Luna is stunned. Standing there with a plate of food is none other than Nisha. Nisha is stunned that Luna knows how to cook and repair wooden carts, remarking that few noble ladies in the city possess such skills. But Luna internally scoffs, thinking that in her past life she could repair water pipes and build furniture with her bare hands. As they walk, a small child calls out to Brother Nisha, and he explains these are children from the temple's orphanage. Luna kneels down, kindly offering them candy, but the children recoil in terror, their faces filled with fear. They suddenly scream and scramble away from her as if fleeing a monster, running straight into the arms of a beautiful blonde woman named Callista. Callista greets Luna warmly, explaining the children had been nagging to see Nisha. Luna can't understand why they are so terrified of her, and Callista helpfully explains that they were frightened after witnessing Luna drive away an old servant near the manor a few days ago. Her story, cloaked in sympathy, paints Luna as a cruel villain. To Luna's horror, Callista then clasps her hands in prayer, asking God to have mercy on the suffering servant and making Luna look even more heartless. The whispers of the children calling her a monster echo in Luna's mind, leaving her stunned and isolated. Just as despair closes in, a young boy steps forward, bravely defending Luna. He declares that Sister Luna is not scary, but a great benefactor who protected his mother from his abusive father and even paid for him to go to school. Luna is shocked to see the boy, who explains he was out buying materials for his magic class. With the truth revealed, Luna gracefully apologizes to Callista for the misunderstanding. Just then, a woman approaches to inform Callista that the housekeeper is looking for her. Realizing she's forgotten to tell her own brother she'd be late, Luna quickly says her goodbyes and rushes off. As Nisha and Callista leave with the children, Callista casts a subtle, knowing glance back at Luna's retreating figure. Later, Luna collapses onto her bed, utterly drained, feeling as if talking to Callista was as taxing as negotiating with a cunning colleague. She tosses and turns, unable to shake the feeling that Callista is more than just a simple, sympathetic saint-type protagonist. Despite being scolded for her tardiness, she remembers her siblings' promise that she can rely on them, and the thought brings a small measure of comfort. Her peace is shattered the next morning when her maid yanks her hair while brushing it, reminding her of the herbal medicine exam she failed and must retake. Luna despairs at the thought of more studying. Until a brilliant idea strikes, she'll ask Nisha for help. Her maid instantly misinterprets this as a date, and clapping her hands with glee, summons an entire squadron of maids to prepare her young miss. Luna tries to protest, but is completely ignored in the flurry of preparations. Arriving at the library, Luna feels suffocated by the overpowering perfume her maids used. She pushes open the grand doors, relieved to find Nisha inside. But her relief instantly evaporates when she sees Callista is there with him. Callista offers a serene smile, and Luna's fight-or-flight instinct kicks in. She quietly backs away and closes the door. She decides to leave but immediately chides herself for running away, though she can't deny the bone-deep chill Callista's presence gives her. Suddenly, a sharp voice behind her demands to know what she's doing there. It's the captain of the Knights glaring down at her. He asks why she looks like she's seen a ghost and if he's that scary. Luna retorts that she's just surprised he deigned to speak to her, given how much he seems to hate her. He admits he did hate her before and she turns to leave, but he calls out for her to wait. In one swift movement, he slams her against the wall, demanding to know if she's aware of the situation regarding the pattern. He clarifies he's talking about a flower she used, admitting he never said he disliked it, creating a tense silence between them. He explains that half a month ago, she rescued a caravan of looted merchants, and at the banquet they held for her, they placed a white flower in her cup. That flower, he reveals, is a borage, and putting it in wine is a northern custom symbolizing reverence for a hero. He was surprised she knew enough to recognize them as northerners. Fed up, Luna snaps back that he shouldn't judge people so rashly without knowing the truth. Her words strike a chord and he's stunned into silence. Realizing he never tries to understand anyone, he grabs her hand, and to her absolute astonishment, the proud captain of the Knights drops to one knee before her. His favorability meter shoots through the roof as he brings her hand to his lips in a gesture of ultimate respect. His men watch in disbelief, one wiping away a tear of joy that their leader is finally learning how to treat a lady. He formally apologizes for his recklessness and for believing gossip, asking for her forgiveness. The memory of that stunning apology still haunts Luna during her tutoring session with Nisha, causing her to lose focus completely. Nisha notices her restlessness, but she brushes it off as a bad night's sleep. The image of the captain kneeling flashes in her mind again, his favorability bar lighting up as she accepted his apology. He had then whirled on his gawking subordinates, declaring their training would be doubled. She sighs, looking at Nisha's favorability bar, which has barely moved despite a week of studying together. She realizes that after her initial reputation change, earning favor is now a grueling process. Nisha then informs her that he's been called home to Caius by his father and won't be able to teach her for a week. He promises to return soon and reassures her that she's studied enough to pass the exam, giving her an encouraging pat on the head. Meanwhile, in the Imperial throne room, Duke Phaedra reports a dark prophecy about a magician with a contract to a dark god who will bring ruin to the continent. He suggests the most powerful magician in the city, Salvator, be placed under house arrest as a precaution. Luna's brother, Count White, immediately objects, defending Salvator's good character. Duke Phaedra counters with a smirk, questioning the Count's motives and pointedly mentioning Luna's recent closeness with Salvator, implying the White family might be complicit. Back at her desk, Luna reads a letter from Nisha, who offers to buy her an expensive diamond necklace as a souvenir. Thinking it's too much, she writes back requesting a simple mulberry sapling instead, remembering his stories of the tree outside his childhood window. After sealing the letter, she feels a renewed determination to pass her exam. But as she heads out, she hears her brother and sister arguing. Peeking around the corner, she overhears her sister Callista berating their brother Levi for antagonizing Duke Phaedra. Her siblings spot her eavesdropping and quickly dismiss her concerns, sending her back to her room. Later, her maid confirms her worst fears. The family is being targeted because of her brother's actions in Parliament. On the day of the ball, Luna feels the weight of her family's precarious position. She knows she can't be naive like the original Luna and resolves to use this event to forge alliances and protect her family. Her plan is to approach Hubert, the heir of a family with ties to the Duke. As she steps into the garden, however, she freezes. Lying in the grass before her is a pocket watch, its face glowing with a sinister, crimson magical seal. Luna White's mind drifts during her tutoring session with Nicaea, her thoughts consumed by a memory of a kneeling Lexi asking for her forgiveness. The recollection is so vivid that when Nicaea calls her name, she snaps back to reality with a start, brushing off his concern by claiming she just slept poorly. The brief, heartfelt memory is enough to trigger the system, showing her relationship with Lexi has increased. Later, she sees Lexi drilling soldiers, and he angrily doubles their training for looking at her. He then turns to Luna with a much softer expression, noticing her interest in herbal medicine and offering to teach her swordsmanship in the forest someday, a proposal that makes her heart flutter. Alone, Luna pulls up the system interface, sighing at the progress. After nearly a week of studying with Nicaea, her relationship level has barely budged, a frustrating realization that her good deeds are now considered natural, making it harder to gain favor. Their study session ends as Nicaea reveals he has to make a trip home after receiving a letter from his father. Seeing Luna's worried expression, he reassures her that she's well prepared for her exam and gently pats her head, promising to be back soon. Far away in the royal court, the sinister Duke Phaedra addresses the king, speaking of a dark prophecy. He claims a powerful magician will summon a catastrophe and points his finger directly at Salvator, the most powerful magician in the capital, suggesting he be locked away in a tower. Luna's father, Earl White, immediately objects, defending Salvator's good character and contributions. But Phaedra counters with a smug grin, questioning why the Earl is so defensive and slyly mentioning that his younger sister, Luna, is Salvator's student, implicating the entire White family in the potential disaster. Back at home, Luna reads a letter from Nicaea, who, as the son of the richest man on the continent, offers her extravagant gifts like diamond necklaces. Thinking it would be too cold to refuse outright, she crafts a thoughtful reply, declining the jewels and instead asking for a mulberry tree sapling, recalling he once mentioned having one outside his window as a child. She finishes the letter, proud of her tactful response, and realizes she's late for her library studies. On her way, she overhears her brother Lexi and her sister arguing about Duke Phaedra. Her sister expresses deep regret, feeling she dragged Luna into their political mess by opposing the Duke. When they spot Luna eavesdropping, they quickly usher her away, telling her not to worry about it. Her maid later fills in the details, explaining that because their father didn't support Duke Phaedra in Parliament, the Duke is now targeting their entire family. On the day of the ball, Luna feels the weight of her family's fate on her shoulders. She knows she must secure an ally to avoid the bad ending where her family is exiled. Her plan is to approach Amber Hughes, whose family is close to Duke Phaedra. As she walks through the garden, a glint on the ground catches her eye, a beautiful pocket watch glowing with a faint magical aura. A sharp voice commands her not to touch it. It's Amber Hughes himself, He retrieves the watch, and Luna, seizing the opportunity, tries to strike up a conversation by complimenting its unique engravings. But as she looks closer, a horrifying realization dawns on her. She recognizes the symbol. It's the emblem of the Valet Society, a notorious alliance of black magicians. Amber's expression turns deadly as he grabs her, his intentions terrifyingly clear. Luna's mind races, certain he's going to silence her to protect his secret. But she collects herself, stands up, and calmly informs him she can keep his secret. As she doesn't want his hush money, she wants a favor. Moments later, they make a grand entrance into the ballroom, Luna on Amber's arm, shocking every noble in attendance, especially Princess Jeanette. The whispers are immediate and cruel, but Amber ignores them and asks Luna for a dance. As they glide across the floor, Luna feels the jealous stares of the other women boring into her back. Amber smirks, noting she's far more calculating than the rumors suggest, and has correctly deduced her plan to use his influence against her enemies. Luna coolly replies that he must be relieved they're now in the same boat, which he confirms, admitting he doesn't hate smart women. He agrees to their alliance, sealing the deal by calling her Luna. Her momentary triumph is shattered when she spots Duke Fedra watching them with a chilling smile. Amber explains the Duke is happy because he suppressed recent riots by having the leader burned at the stake. The word burn triggers a traumatic flashback, a vision of a past life where she was condemned as a witch and burned alive. The psychic shock is too much and she collapses in Amber's arms. Her vision continues, flashing a bad end screen for a player 380 before she's consumed by flames. Luna jolts awake in a private lounge, realizing it was just a dream. But the fear was real, the memory of burning seared into her soul. She ponders the fate of player 380 and vows she will not suffer the same fate. As she resolves to thank Amber for his help, the door bursts open to reveal a furious Princess Jeanette and her entourage. The princess's lady-in-waiting accuses Luna of seducing Amber, and Jeanette screams that she'll make Luna pay for stealing what is hers. Instead of cowering, Luna laughs, finding the accusation absurd. She calmly points out that Amber invited her to dance and brought her here to rest, so how could she possibly be stealing him? Enraged by her audacity, the princess orders her ladies to hold Luna down to ruin her face. But Luna is ready. With a swift movement, she grabs one of the ladies' arms, twisting it behind her back, and using her as a shield against the other, causing both to fall in a heap. Looking down at the fainted girls, Luna coldly remarks on their weakness before turning to the utterly stunned princess. Princess Jeanette explodes with fury, questioning why Luna White dares to speak to her with such audacity. The princess can't believe anyone in the royal capital would break rules more flagrantly than herself, sneering that the two girls on the floor are from poor viscount families with no right to even be vassals. As she lunges forward to strike Luna, her wrist is caught by a calm, dark-haired man named Amber. He gently reminds the princess that Luna is a member of the prestigious White family, not a common servant, and any rumors of her being scolded would bring shame upon the queen herself. With a cool smile, he tells the fuming princess that the farce is over and she should get some rest, effectively dismissing her. He then turns to Luna, informing her that Duke Fedra wishes to see her. Left behind, Jeanette trembles with rage, cursing her useless servants and vowing that Luna White will suffer double for this humiliation. Walking away with Amber, Luna eyes him suspiciously, asking when he arrived and internally fuming that the old fox must have been watching the whole time, waiting for the perfect moment to intervene and make her indebted to him. Amber smirks, remarking that she resembles the White family's feisty cat, and a strange relationship meter appears, showing his affection has increased, much to Luna's confusion. She wonders why this evil-tongued man is suddenly interested in her, and recalls that he's a powerful figure tangled up with the Black Magician's alliance. A horrifying realization dawns on her. What if he's planning to rebel against the king? The thought makes her tremble violently. Amber notices her shaking and asks if she's cold, but when she denies it, he simply tells her to return his clothes. She then remembers he was the one who carried her to her room when she fainted, and he jokes that he only did it to prevent her from spilling their secrets in her sleep. He leans in close, a dangerous glint in his eye, and places a glowing, magical ring on her finger, whispering that she won't be talking. Luna panics, trying desperately to pull off the ring, but Amber coldly informs her it's a contract ring made with magic and she's wasting her time. He warns her with a chilling smile that if she accidentally leaks any secrets, the ring will cause her to explode and die. Later, Amber introduces Luna to the bespectacled Duke Fedra, who remarks that her reputation precedes her. The Duke offers a backhanded compliment, noting she's beautiful but has more tricks up her sleeve than her boring brother. After a brief, tense exchange, he warns her to stop messing with Amber, as they are both the king's trusted aides and should get along. As they part ways, Luna shivers, realizing the Duke's chilling gaze was fixed on Amber the entire time. Amber smirks, pointing out that the Duke misunderstanding their relationship was exactly what she wanted, wasn't it? Luna screams internally, trapped with a man who has essentially strapped a human bomb to her hand, destroying her dreams of a normal life. The following days are a living hell as everyone from Nicosia to Sir Knight pesters her about the cut on her finger, driving her to the brink of insanity with their constant concern. Unable to take it anymore, she erupts, screaming for Amber to fix this before storming out of her home. As she bursts into his room unannounced, finding him calmly reading a newspaper, Luna shoves her bare finger in his face, accusing him of lying about the ring being irremovable. He casually explains he simply hit it with magic, something even street kids know how to do, and feigns surprise she didn't ask him to, sarcastically suggesting she must have liked the ring's style. Seething at his mockery, Luna forces herself to ask for his help, and he leans in, telling her she needs to show the proper sincerity. Swallowing her pride for the sake of a normal life, she pleads sweetly with Lord Amber, promising to do anything he asks. Amused, he pinches her cheek and makes his demand. She will be the model for his art class, leaving Luna utterly bewildered by his true motives. At the prestigious Delano Xavier Magic Academy, Luna feels completely out of place, a 24-year-old forced to navigate high school electives. The original Luna's choice of useless classes like food tasting and meditation only complicates her decision. Suddenly, the kind-hearted Nicaea appears, greeting her warmly and asking about a sapling he gave her before suggesting they take a reading class together. Their pleasant conversation is interrupted by the arrogant Laird, who calls her indecisive and suggests a weight training class, mocking her weak muscles. Before she can react, Amber taps her on the head with a course booklet, sarcastically suggesting an art class so she can learn to appreciate his future drawings of her as a jumping monkey. Surrounded by all three men demanding she choose a class, Luna freezes in a state of pure panic. Amber subtly flashes his contract ring, a silent threat reminding her who she cannot afford to cross. Laird grows impatient, sniping at her for wasting time on other people, while the ever-gentle Nicaea reassures her that it's okay to choose what she likes. Luna feels trapped, knowing any choice will damage her relationship with the other two and leave them vulnerable to the heroine. Then she spots her Callista. A brilliant idea strikes her and she decides to be proactive. She rushes over to Callista, enthusiastically asking which classes she's taking. When Callista mentions embroidery and history, Luna immediately proposes they take them together. A suggestion Callista accepts with a knowing smile. Later that day, while struggling with her embroidery homework, Luna is startled by Laird's sudden appearance. The shock causes her to prick her finger, and she cries out as a drop of blood threatens to ruin her work. Laird calls her an idiot for being so careless, before grabbing her hand and shocking her to her core by licking the blood from her fingertip. He nonchalantly claims it's just how they clean wounds during training, leaving Luna disgusted by this world's hygiene. He then questions her closeness with Amber, warning her to stay away since the queen is arranging the princess's marriage. Noticing his jealousy raises their relationship meter, Luna sees an opportunity, but quickly cuts him off by declaring they are all just friends, causing him to pout like a grandma. As he leaves, he tells her to meet him in the forest for training tomorrow. After he's gone, Luna's sister appears, and Luna explains she needs Laird's help because her sister, Xavier's top swordsman, is too busy. Unseen, hooded figures watch them from the shadows, their plan set in motion. The next morning, Luna arrives in the forest armed with her family's ancestral sword, only to step into a hidden net trap. Her scream rips through the air as she's hoisted upwards. Her cry for help is heard by Callista, who feigns concern. But as Luna hangs helplessly in the net, she sees Laird standing with the heroine, who gives a triumphant little wink. The trap was for her all along. A cry of pain shatters the forest's calm as Laird and Luna discover Callista, her ankle caught in a brutal iron trap, blood staining the grass. Laird immediately notes that the forest entrance is littered with traps, a deeply unsettling development. Luna kneels down, trying to pry the steel jaws apart, but Callista tells her it's no use. Laird confirms her fears. The spring mechanism is broken, meaning brute force is useless. Unwilling to give up, Luna draws her sword and strikes the trap with a loud clang, but it doesn't budge. As Callista sobs in despair, Laird tells Luna to stand back, his expression hardening. He draws his own blade, which erupts in a flash of green energy as he swings it down, shattering the trap in a single decisive blow. Luna stares in shock, not at the broken trap, but at the shattered tip of Laird's sword. She can't believe he would sacrifice his most treasured possession, a sword he's used since childhood, just to save someone. He coolly dismisses her concern, stating that a person's life is always the priority, but a seed of doubt plants itself in Luna's mind. Is he already falling for the heroine's charm? Later, in the solemn halls of a temple, Laird gently chides a distracted Luna for making mistakes during the ceremony. Suddenly, a crippling pain seizes Luna's chest, making it impossible to breathe. She clutches herself, gasping for air, as Laird's concerned voice calls her name just before her world goes dark. She collapses into his arms, and he swiftly informs the priest that the ceremony must end due to her poor health. Watching from afar, a smug smile plays on Callista's lips. Her plan to get injured to ruin their relationship worked perfectly, and Luna running to the temple only weakened her own internal seal, progressing the storyline. She coolly checks her mission status, musing that this is her 31st cycle and she hopes for a different ending this time. Back outside, Luna feels strangely lighter, the pain vanishing the moment she left the temple grounds. Determined not to be a victim, she insists they return to the forest to dismantle the remaining traps, a duty Laird readily accepts as a knight. The thought of his sacrifice still gnaws at her, and she finally confronts him, asking if he stopped her from helping because he believed her to be talentless. Laird is taken aback, explaining that he knows her sword is the White family heirloom and he couldn't let her waste it on traps. He broke his own lesser blade to protect something important to her asterisk. Touched by his thoughtfulness, Luna feels a warmth spread through her chest and thanks him sincerely. Their investigation soon yields a clue, a simple, patternless button likely dropped by the culprit. Just then Callista appears, her foot miraculously healed, asking what they're looking at. She explains that the bishop gave her holy water, the temple's monopolized healing magic, and even offers them a bottle. After Callista offers them pastries she made, they stumble upon a small house where Laird is joyfully greeted by a dog named Barbara. Callista suggests they all eat together, and Luna, suspicious of leaving her alone, agrees to help prepare the meal, earning a cold glance from the blonde girl. As night falls, they sit around a campfire and Luna takes a bowl of food to the waiting dog. She feeds Barbara, enjoying a quiet moment, while Callista tells Laird she's surprised Luna gets along with animals. Suddenly, a painful howl rips through the night. They rush to find Barbara convulsing on the ground, a shattered bowl beside her leaking a bright blue substance. Laird instantly recognizes it as the fast-acting venom of a Naxos snake. Callista springs into action, pouring her holy water on the dog and saving her life. As they try to piece together what happened, Callista hesitantly points out that Luna was the only one who went to feed Barbara alone. The accusation hangs in the air, a blatant attempt to frame her. Luna, trying to stay calm, argues that the sticky poison would have stained the bowl, demanding to know who gave it to her. Callista holds up a clean bowl, claiming the only contaminated food was what Barbara ate, leaving Luna as the only possible culprit. Laird's face darkens with suspicion and Luna feels her heart sink as his relationship meter drops. Defeated, Luna watches as Laird takes Barbara and Callista away, his trust in her shattered. Desperate, she pores over books for information on the venom but finds nothing. Refusing to give up, she seeks out Nicaea in the library, asking if magic exists to make things disappear. He reveals his teacher is researching a secret magic oil that can render objects invisible when heated, only for them to reappear when rubbed. The truth hits Luna like a thunderbolt. Callista coated the bowl with the oil and venoms, which became invisible with the hot food and reappeared when the dog licked the bowl. Nicaea confirms the presence of the oil on the shattered fragments, and Luna explains the entire setup to him and a now horrified Laird. Overcome with guilt, Laird apologizes profusely for doubting her, his relationship meter soaring back up. They agree that Callista is the culprit, but Nicaea warns against publicizing the existence of the invisibility oil, fearing widespread panic. Laird agrees, unwilling to risk Luna's reputation on speculation without solid proof. Meanwhile, Callista smugly reflects on her success, musing that the men in this game are merely pawns to get what she wants. Lying beside her in bed, she turns to her next target, Sir Angus, the vice-captain of the Knights. Luna reflects on the increasingly sinister nature of the game, realizing this world is far more dangerous than the simple Otome Game she'd believed it to be. She pulls up Callista's profile, noting the gentle and naive personality described is a complete fabrication. She deduces Callista must have an accomplice, or the darkness of this world has twisted her completely. This new reality forces her to come up with a real plan for survival, her only hope resting on a hidden target she prays will appear soon and change her desperate situation. Out in the sunlit training grounds, she spars with Laird, assuring him she won't hold back just because he gave her a new sword. Seeing his hesitation, she asks if he's still troubled by her supposed poisoning of Barbara. She explains her forgiveness was genuine, as she understands the pain of losing someone who felt like family. With a somber expression, she reveals her own motivation for learning swordsmanship is tied to loss. Her father taught her the basics when she was young, but after his tragic death, the pain was too great for her to even pick up a blade again. Apologizing for her past selfishness, she declares she must face her past to find bravery. With newfound resolve, she promises to spar with him properly from now on, and their swords finally clash in a brilliant spark. After their intense session, Luna sits beside Laird, lamenting that skill with a sword means little against powerful magic users. In a startlingly tender gesture, Laird places an incredibly rare gem necklace around her neck, a gift meant for her protection. He warns her of greater powers at play and the dangers of the upcoming school competition, where they may be separated. His words echo her own fears as she feels a sense of dread about what awaits her. The day of the competition arrives, with Sir Salvator outlining the rules, students will be paired up to collect brooches on Gulal Hill. Luna notes his return, planning to clear her doubts with him later. As students draw lots for their partners, she cynically wonders who a villainess like herself could possibly be paired with. To her utter shock, she finds herself teamed up with Amber Hughes. He smugly informs her it was inevitable, brazenly admitting he strong-armed the academy into rigging the lots just for her. Luna is aghast that a main male lead would so blatantly cheat the game's plot. This confirms her suspicion that the characters in this world are acting with their own free will. She quickly masks her shock with feigned happiness, a necessary act to protect her secret as a transmigrator. After Amber departs, Laird approaches, warning her about Amber's reckless history of injuring teammates and revealing his own partner is Callista, who is paired with the seventh prince, Xenos. The political web becomes clear to Luna, but Laird reassures her he's arranged a meeting with Sir Salvator after the event. Unbeknownst to them, a programmer from another world stares at her screen in disbelief, her 195th simulation to pair Amber with the prince having failed. She sighs, having been trapped in the game for so long she can no longer remember the very code she wrote. The competition begins, and Luna finds the first day surprisingly easy. As they rest, Laird suddenly confronts them, demanding to know why Luna is so close to the enemy. Amber taunts him, and Laird, furious, challenges him to a proper duel. The fight erupts, with Laird calling Amber a coward for hiding behind Luna, but she calmly reminds him that he taught her this very formation. From the shadows, Callista casts a binding spell, trapping Luna's feet in magical vines. As Laird charges, Amber throws his own sword to intercept the blow, a seemingly reckless move that proves to be a brilliant feint. Luna appears behind Laird with a blade at his throat, revealing their strategy. Amber had used magic to create an illusion of a sword from a stick, concealing his true weapon. Laird concedes defeat, acknowledging that his strength became his downfall. Elsewhere, Callista outlines her own devious plan to Xenos. They'll have other students weaken Amber, then steal the competition data to make his points impossible to calculate, ensuring their victory. Their scheming is interrupted by a message from Duke Fedra, summoning the Valet Society. Xenos lazily sends Callista in his place, a move she inwardly mocks as idiotic but convenient. That night, Luna and Amber set up camp, agreeing to share watch duty. She's surprised when he offers her dinner, not expecting a noble like him to cook. She takes a sip, only for him to point out with a smirk that it's his bowl. Flustered, she stammers an apology, but he leans in close, teasingly asking if she wanted an indirect kiss that badly. As her relationship meter shoots up, he closes the distance, whispering if she'd prefer a direct one instead. Their moment is shattered by a noise in the bushes. Amber pulls her behind him as a cloaked figure emerges, bearing the crest of the Valet Society. He explains the society's dark history and his mother's connection to it, realizing they were deliberately lured here. Luna steels herself, ready to fight alongside him. They follow the trail to find Callista with another cloaked figure, who is performing a dark ritual to absorb the magic of an unconscious girl named Louise. Luna and Amber burst in, demanding they stop. The figure coolly orders Callista to take the sacrifice away, confident he can handle them alone. Luna tells Amber to get Louise to safety while she holds him off. The figure attacks with vicious dark magic, chiding them for their curiosity and declaring their lives are now forfeit. He seizes Luna by the throat, her world turning black as air leaves her lungs. With her last ounce of strength, she headbutts him hard. The cloak falls away, revealing the face of a young man she's never seen before, just as a system notification flashes. A new character has been introduced. Luna stumbles upon a young boy in the woods, immediately realizing this isn't just any child. It's the hidden character, Laird, looking completely different from his game profile. She worries he's hurt from their collision, but a closer look at the dark marks spreading across his skin reveals a chilling truth. He's suffering the consequences of using forbidden magic. A wave of dread washes over her. She had planned to hand him over to the teachers, but now she understands he's not just a normal villain but the fourth male lead. Since he's a main character, he probably won't die, but leaving him alone is too risky. Callista has already thrown the game world into chaos, and Luna realizes this boy's fate is now tangled with hers. Apologizing silently to him, she makes a hard choice. She will have to use him to survive and clear this twisted game. Just as she steals her resolve, Laird's eyes flutter open, his voice weak as he asks why she saved him when he nearly killed her. Thinking fast, Luna bluffs her way through, claiming she needed to ask him something and that she isn't afraid since he traded his health for power and is now completely defenseless. She inwardly scrambles for a believable story, unable to admit he's just an important character in a game she needs to win. She questions why someone so young is part of a dangerous organization like the Valet Society. And he explains with a heavy heart that he was born into it after his parents abandoned him. He mentions a sister Callista who treats him well, and Luna's heart sinks. The boy has been completely deceived by Callista's kind facade. Luna offers him a sliver of hope, advising him to leave the society and promising to one day help him find a way to escape. She introduces herself as Luna White, gives him her family's location, and turns to leave. As she walks away, Laird watches her go, a flicker of determination in his eyes as he vows to find her again. Back at the supply station, Amber informs her that Callista used Louise as a shield and escaped. The fight is finally over, and their team is declared the winner with 52 points. But just as they receive their victory slip, a blinding light erupts. Prince Xenos appears, snatching the ticket from their hands and arrogantly declaring that he'll be the winner this time. He cackles as he tears their proof of victory into pieces, gloating that he's finally defeated the legendary Amber Hughes. Luna seethes, accusing him of using backhanded means, but Xenos just smirks, smugly asking if she has any proof. Before she can escalate the situation, Amber pulls her back, warning her not to provoke the prince for her brother's sake. Suddenly, a group of students steps forward, boldly stating that they have all the proof they need. They explain that all points are registered with the teachers, making his little stunt utterly pointless. Xenos' face twists in rage as he realizes he's been betrayed by Callista, who was supposed to steal the data for him. As the students drag the prince away for violating school rules, Callista watches from the sidelines with a triumphant smile, having sacrificed her own grades to expose him. Her friends praise her for her honor, but Luna and Amber are deeply suspicious of her sudden change of heart. Amber theorizes that Callista, ever the social climber, must have framed Xenos to win favor with a more powerful noble. Later, the official results are announced, confirming Luna and Amber as the winners. In celebration, a commemorative ball will be held in a week, and the word ball sends a visceral shock through Luna's body. Memories of the original Luna, who was executed after fainting at a ball, flood her mind, and she realizes with dawning horror that Callista's true aim is to use the event to turn everyone's attention and ire onto her. Following an invitation from Sir Salvator, Luna finds herself standing on a glowing magic circle in his office. He cuts right to the chase, revealing that he is the one who summoned her to this world. He explains that this world is a copy he created to save his original one from a prophesied doom, packaging it as a game so transmigrators could alter its fate. But the system was corrupted by a bitter developer, trapping players' souls in the body of the supporting character, Luna. He tells her the fate of 380 previous transmigrators now rests on her shoulders, as his life force, which sustains this world, is fading. On her 18th birthday, Luna's siblings present her with a pair of exquisite earrings. A deeply touching gesture, since they'd never celebrated her birthday before out of guilt for their mother's death in childbirth. Though she's moved, she recognizes the jewelry from the game's plot and knows Callista will use it to frame her. Determined to protect her new family, she gathers Amber, Nicia, and Laird, asking for their unconditional trust and a favor she cannot explain. The men readily agree, their overlapping promises overwhelming her for a moment. Once they settle down, she reveals her plan. Callista will frame her at the ball using the earrings. She instructs Amber to have Princess Jeanette wear an identical pair, tasks Nicia with watching Callista's every move, and asks Laird to protect her family in case she gets arrested as part of her counterplan. He agrees, trusting her completely. Meanwhile, in the shadowed halls of the Valet Society, Callista confirms her own plans are set. The young assassin Archer appears, asking to join her scheme, and she allows it. Luna knows that while Archer is close to Callista, his allegiance is fickle. As long as he serves his purpose in her plan, she doesn't care who he's charmed by. But from the darkness, Callista smiles, certain that Luna White's comfortable life is about to end. Archer reveals the truth behind a glowing magic circle, explaining that he's helping Luna unlock her true power. He tells her only those with the bloodline of the God of Dark can activate it, which makes Luna realize a shocking truth. It's not that she lacks magical talent, but that she can only wield dark magic. This revelation suddenly makes the original Luna's aversion to the temple make perfect sense. Archer formally welcomes her to their world, leading her into a hidden library packed with tomes on dark magic. To Luna's surprise, she can read the mysterious language in the books perfectly. Finding the study session too dull, Archer steps behind her and covers her eyes, telling her to do something more fun. He instructs her to feel the swirling energy in the room, and as she concentrates, she feels a powerful force gathering at her fingertips. Archer proudly tells her she can now control the dark elements just like him, and a vibrant purple aura erupts around her. Luna is stunned, remembering this is the same magic she saw him use when he kidnapped Louise. Archer confesses that the Valet Society forced him into using forbidden techniques, but he believes there's no real difference between light and dark magic. Luna, overwhelmed by the grand politics of it all, simply says she's happy as long as he's there to rescue her. She asks if Callista ordered him to gather the books, and Archer admits she did, but he claims he did it as a personal gift for Luna. Taking her chance, Luna makes a bold request. She needs him to acquire one of the earrings Princess Jeanette will be wearing that night. Completely smitten, Archer blushes and agrees to do anything she wants, as long as she continues to like him. The scene shifts dramatically to the Xavier Empire's courtroom, where Callista takes the stand as a witness. Swearing an oath to the god of light, she vows that everything she says is the absolute truth. She presents a single earring, declaring it belongs to Luna and proves her collusion with users of dark magic. Just as the accusation hangs in the air, Princess Jeanette storms into the court, roaring at Callista for daring to slander her. The princess furiously snatches the earring, declaring it's hers and was custom-made by her fiancé, Amber. Callista is thrown into a panic, insisting the earrings belong to Luna and that many people saw her wearing them, but no one dares to support her against the princess. As Luna watches the chaos unfold with cold composure, Callista completely loses her mind, screaming that Luna was supposed to die today before being forcibly restrained by the guards. Jeanette coolly suggests the trial is over now that the only witness has gone insane. The judge has no choice but to acquit Luna due to insufficient evidence. The court sentences a weeping Callista to 3 years in prison for her crimes, leaving her to collapse in despair. Locked behind cold iron bars, Callista's eyes glow with a menacing purple light as she seethes with hatred, swearing she will never forgive Luna White. Later, at a lavish party celebrating her victory, Luna thanks her friends for their help. In a private conversation with Salvador, she admits their win was due to manipulating Princess Jeanette's temper, and she questions a justice system so easily swayed by royalty. Salvador reveals that past kings tried to reform the system but were stopped by the temple, a truth that increases Luna's bond with him. Suddenly, she spots Archer through a window and quickly excuses herself. Luna finds Archer in her room, sitting by the window and covered in fresh wounds from a dangerous mission. He tells her he almost didn't make it back, and when she moves to get bandages, he stops her, insisting all he needs is for her to stay with him. He notices her distraction, and she confesses she's been thinking about the world's unfairness, how light magic users are praised while those who use dark magic are executed. Archer asks if she's afraid of him now, but Luna smiles, reassuring him that they are the same. Moved by her acceptance, Archer blushes deeply, telling her she's the only one for him. Following her victory, Luna visits Callista in prison. Callista spits that if Luna is there to gloat, she can leave. Luna calmly asks why Callista hates her, stating they were strangers before Callista plotted against her. The confrontation takes a shocking turn when Luna reveals she is not the game's NPC but a transmigrator from the real world, just like Callista. Stunned, Callista demands to know how many times she's played this game, and Luna reveals she is player 381. Luna explains that the Lunas Callista defeated before were other real players, whose souls are now trapped between dimensions, a fate no different from death. The horrifying realization that she has killed over 300 people doesn't bring remorse, but a fit of crazed laughter. Callista declares she has no conscience and will eliminate anyone who gets in her way, as only one of them can survive. Realizing cooperation is impossible, Luna decides to leave Callista to her fate. Alone, the weight of her actions finally crushes Callista, and she becomes physically ill at the thought of being a mass murderer. Yet she steels herself, vowing to win the game she herself created. Sometime later, with Callista gone, Luna's life is peaceful as she prepares for a tea party with her siblings and friends. Laird Lachlan arrives late, followed by Luna's sister Lexi, who is uncharacteristically dressed in a fancy gown. To everyone's shock, Lexi loudly announces that Laird will be Luna's future husband. A mortified Luna realizes her maid must have misled her sister. Her brother tells Lexi and a flustered Laird to change, but Lexi continues, gushing that Laird is a much better match for Luna than someone else. Luna sinks to the floor in embarrassment. Later, she reflects on how they used Amber's status as the princess's fiancé to win the trial, feeling a pang of guilt. Sensing her mood, Amber says he should probably leave, but as he turns away, Luna grabs his arm. She looks at him with a mischievous smirk, boldly declaring that as the infamous Villainess of the capital, she isn't afraid to fight for another woman's fiancé. Intrigued, Amber agrees to stay, curious to see what she'll do next. Luna gathers her allies, a heavy secret weighing on her heart, and finally reveals the truth. She is a user of dark magic, a power she only recently discovered after stumbling upon ancient texts before the bull. Her friends don't flinch. Laird expresses only relief, admitting he'd been terrified she'd met someone dangerous when she disappeared for so long. Amber adds his trust, while her brother and sister pledge their unwavering support, though her sister can't resist teasing her about the engagement, causing Luna to flush with embarrassment. Later, Amber secretly asks her to meet him outside the city, leaving Luna to wonder what he could possibly want in such a barren, weed-ridden land. She finds him standing before a single gravestone in a vast, hidden field of golden flowers. He apologizes for the wait, explaining that this is his mother's grave and the place where he grew up. Amber then unveils his tragic past. His mother was from the Valet Society, and because of the elders' disapproval, his father had to hide her in this secluded place. After his father died, the Hughes family seized their chance, taking him away for his light magic talent while his mother was left behind, sick and alone. By the time he was free, she was already gone. All he could do was bury her and transform their home into this garden, a beautiful memorial born from sorrow. He confesses that he can never forgive them for taking him from her. He shows her an old pocket watch, a keepsake from his mother. And Luna's eyes widen as she senses the powerful dark magic circle on it, a seal designed to hide his light magic. The terrible realization dawns on them both. His mother likely contacted the Hughes family herself, sacrificing her own happiness for his future. Moved by his story, Luna speaks from her heart, empathizing with the pain of a mother's sacrifice and assuring him that Madame Hughes would have been happy knowing he had a better life. Amber's composure breaks and he thanks her, confessing that he has always felt guilty and powerless, but with her by his side, he is no longer alone. The tender moment is shattered when he reveals he rejected his engagement to Princess Jeanette, a move that sends a jolt of panic through Luna as the world suddenly feels far more dangerous. Their peaceful day is cut short when they later spot Callista walking freely in the city. And Luna is aghast, demanding to know how she escaped prison. Amber grimly states that Duke Fedra must be involved. Their suspicions are confirmed when they meet with Nicia and Laird. Duke Fedra did indeed orchestrate her release. As they plot their next move, the door to their room is thrown open. By Angus, the vice-captain of the Knights, flanked by his men, he declares he's there to arrest Laird, accusing him of chasing away Knights to cover up a crime at the White Mansion. Without hesitation, Luna steps forward to take the fall, claiming she forced Laird to do it. But Laird, his eyes full of devotion, refuses to let her sacrifice herself. He calmly tells Angus he did it to curry favor with her family, a noble lie to protect the woman he loves. In that instant, a blue bar above his head flashes to max, and a system notification chimes with a sickening finality: capture success. As Laird is led away with a serene smile, Luna watches in horror, screaming in silent fury at the cruel, twisted game that rewards her by endangering those she cares about. Later, her friends try to console her, but Luna can only see the grim reality of her situation. She asks to speak with Amber and Nicia alone, and as they strategize, a dark scheme unfolds elsewhere. Callista congratulates Angus on his impending promotion to captain, a position she orchestrated for him, revealing her true ambition: to use him and the Knights to overthrow Duke Fedra, seize control of the Valet Society, and eventually rise to the station of Pope. Back in the room, Luna puzzles over Callista's motives, wondering why she targeted Laird instead of her. Nicia posits a terrifying theory. What if Callista's goal isn't revenge, but something far greater, like clearing the game itself? The thought freezes Luna. If their missions are different, her entire strategy is wrong. Amber explains the delicate power balance between the Crown, the Temple, and the Valet Society, leading them to conclude that Callista is making a play for the Royal Knights to bolster her position in the Temple. Realizing the alliance between Fedra and Callista is fragile, they form a plan: drive a wedge between the two and create an opening to save Laird. Vowing to investigate Fedra's manor at dawn, unbeknownst to them, Archer feels abandoned and decides to follow Luna's carriage. He overhears Fedra's men plotting to infiltrate the White Mansion and burn it to the ground, and a cold fury settles in his eyes. When Luna's group arrives at the manor, they find it eerily silent. Inside, the curtains are drawn, plunging the hall into darkness. Luna steps forward and feels a sickening squish beneath her shoe. As Nicia illuminates the room with magic, they recoil in horror. She has stepped on a severed hand, adorned with the Duke's family ring. When the entire hall is lit, a scene of absolute carnage is revealed. The floors and grand staircase are drenched in blood. At the top of the stairs stands Archer, holding a bloody dagger with a disturbingly cheerful smile. He asks Luna why she's here, casually explaining that the Duke was going to harm her, so he decided to cut him to pieces as a little present. The blood drains from Luna's face. With Fedra dead, Callista is completely unrestrained. Staring at Archer, she no longer sees a troubled boy but a cruel, reckless monster. She turns her back on him, telling Amber and Nicia they are leaving immediately. As Archer calls her name in confusion, she whirls on him, her voice filled with disgust, ordering him to never speak her name again and that she never wants to lay eyes on him for as long as she lives, leaving him utterly shattered in the blood-soaked hall. Nicia finds a brooding Luna in the garden, gently reminding her that worrying won't bring Duke Fedra back and that she should care for her own health. Luna offers a faint smile of thanks, but her mind is a storm of anxieties, not about the Duke, but about the game's targets and her perplexing relationship with Nicia, the kindest of the four, whose affection meter remains stubbornly low. She finally asks him directly why he's always so nice to her, a question that sends him into a flustered panic. He stammers that she deserves to be treated well before leaning in close, his voice dropping to a whisper as he reveals he knows she's not from this world. He confesses to eavesdropping on her conversation with his teacher, Salvator, explaining he was terrified she was in danger because Salvator never lets anyone into his secret room. Luna tries to brush it off, admitting it's hard being a target and joking that she'd be furious if she were an NPC being charmed by some guy. Confused by her strange words, Nicaea reveals what he truly understood. He knows about the relationship bar that floats above her head. A wave of empathy washes over him as he apologizes, realizing she's just as trapped by this system as he is, and impulsively asks her on a date to the market so they can truly get to know one another. A sliver of guilt pierces Luna's heart. She was so angry about her situation that she forgot he was just another pawn in this game. The next day, Nicaea finds her at the market, explaining he came to find her after she didn't show up at the entrance. She admits she was distracted by the rampant rumors about Duke Fedra, but he just smiles, takes her hand, and declares that the most important thing right now is to eat. He leads her to a kitchen where he's prepared desserts, saying he just wanted her to try them, though she insists she wanted to help. An hour later, his efforts result in a perfect cake roll, while hers is a miserable purple lump, a testament to this world's lack of modern technology. He gently pushes his own creation towards her, insisting he made it for her to enjoy. The taste is divine, and she immediately decides to return the favor. Recognizing the restaurant as the place they first met, she asks him to wait outside and quickly whips up a dish she memorized after tasting it just once. Nicaea is stunned by the gesture, his mind reeling back to a lonely childhood where he was nothing but a coward, a slave to manners forgotten by his own family. He never imagined someone from another world would remember something so small about him. And as he takes a bite, a notification confirms their relationship has deepened. Later, while walking, they overhear gossip about Duke Fedra's ties to the Valet Society just as a small girl begins to cry. Her skirt is torn and Nicaea immediately offers to fix it, leading them to a quiet alley. There he calmly confronts their stalker, a scowling ache. The boy sneers that he'll kill all his rivals until Luna only has eyes for him. But Nicaea simply advises him to think from Luna's perspective instead of acting so recklessly. Ache is unmoved. And when Luna returns, Nicaea dismisses him as a nosy neighbor before presenting the little girl with her repaired skirt. The girl thanks them profusely, calling them sir and madam and sending them both into a betrayed flurry of denials. As the girl skips away, Nicaea asks if his favorability went up, but Luna reminds him of their agreement not to focus on the system. He presses on, saying that if she can see the bar, she should know what to do, and then, in the golden light of the alley, he kisses her. The favorability bar instantly shoots to max as a system alert triumphantly declares the mission accomplished. Before they can process it, they hear a snap and see the little girl has fallen. The mood shatters later when Nicaea bursts into a room where Luna and Laird are strategizing. He brings devastating news: the Emperor has been assassinated. Laird blames the Veil Association, but Nicaea suspects a new, terrifying alliance between Callista and Ache. On a rooftop, a lonely Ache feels a sudden shift, as Luna fiercely defends him, insisting he's not a killer. Instantly, his own favorability bar maxes out, and a soft smile touches his lips as another mission is completed. That night in a desolate cathedral, Callista confronts Ache for ignoring her signal. She promises him a better life once she's Pope, but he coldly tells her he won't see her anymore because Luna doesn't like her. Callista's face contorts in fury, screaming that Luna is using him, but Ache silences her with a blast of dark magic that stops inches from her face. He states with chilling finality that if Luna hadn't told him not to kill, Callista would already be dead. Later, Ache appears at Luna's window. He explains he never hated her, he was just in a bad mood, and his joy at her forgiveness sends him flying onto her bed in an overexcited heap. Luna shushes him and asks for the truth. She's shocked to learn Fiedler himself masterminded the assassination plots. Admitting she was wrong, she gently asks Ache to work with her in the future. Overwhelmed by her trust, he makes a stunning confession. He is the leader of the Veil Association. Luna lights up, realizing this changes everything. Ache explains the complex web of betrayal between Fiedler and Callista, revealing Callista's true goal isn't ruling, but collecting game endings by eliminating powerful people like Laird. Luna asks if there's a way to rescue him. Though Ache only wants to be with her, he can't refuse her earnest plea. They form a plan. She will find Heroine while he infiltrates the palace. With a promise of a reward, Ache leaps into the night, leaving Luna alone with the crushing weight of their mission. If she fails this time, it's all over. Callista stands over the dying emperor with a cold smirk, a dagger glinting in her hand as she muses that the next ruler will surely accept her request. Just as she prepares to strike, Luna and Amber burst in to stop her. Callista greets her with chilling amusement, explaining that their system tasks are different and they could never clear this game together. Her mission, she reveals, is to get the Emperor's approval, but since the old man is so disobedient, she sweetly asks if Luna would kill him for her instead. Luna is horrified by her sheer extremism, but Callista dismisses her shock, arrogantly declaring that she created this world and doesn't need Luna's opinion on how to manage it. Amber steps forward, promising Luna his unconditional support and telling her now is not the time for questions. Luna demands to know if Callista feels any guilt for killing real players, but the Villainess just laughs. Guilt, she scoffs, is for the brainless idiots who play romance games. She launches into a bitter tirade, revealing she was a programmer forced to work overtime to fix bugs for people who drool over paper characters, screaming that they all deserve to die for the trouble they caused her. The cruel words trigger a memory for Luna, a vision of a dear friend overjoyed by a game she helped create. Fueled by a sudden righteous fury, Luna's own power erupts in a storm of purple energy. She roars that people are allowed to love virtual characters, and that a creator should be happy their work brings others joy, declaring someone like Callista is completely unqualified to be in game development. But as Luna prepares to attack, Callista calmly holds up a document while a magic shield springs to life, deflecting the blow. She presses her blade to the Emperor's throat, taunting Luna about whose weapon is faster. The Emperor, however, shows no fear, spitting that he would never entrust his country to a lunatic and daring her to do her worst. Callista's plan is unraveling, and she can't understand why the strategy guide is failing her. Amber quickly explains that the Emperor's death would plunge the nation into a bloody civil war, clarifying that Luna only wants peace. Callista merely sneers at her rival's fake sentimentality, boasting that she has Angus and hundreds of knights ready to fight for her. Suddenly, a blast of green energy slams into her, sending her flying across the room as her dagger clatters to the floor. Laird and the other capture targets have arrived just in time. Luna frantically asks where Ake is, and is told he's outside using his black magic to control Callista's knights. Defeated and wounded on the floor, Callista is far from finished. As Nicaea and Salvator move to secure the Emperor, she makes a desperate move, plunging her dagger into her own arm to activate a forbidden blood magic technique. Luna recognizes the sinister power immediately, realizing it's the same method Ake once used. With black energy swirling around her, Luna prepares for the final battle, instructing her allies to distract Callista's attacks. She looks at her fellow time traveler with regret, lamenting that their shared goal of returning home had turned into a bitter rivalry. But Callista's vile contempt for the very players they serve is unforgivable. On behalf of every player who has ever loved a game, Luna unleashes her full power, cursing Callista to oblivion. A grim notification flashes across the screen. Player 001 mission has failed, marking Callista's bad end. Later, on a quiet balcony, Amber gently approaches Luna. He knows she's thinking of her real home, admitting Nicaea told him everything and her confrontation with Callista confirmed his suspicions. Luna quietly asks if he thinks she was using him, but he just smiles, reminding her of the confident woman he met at the ball and revealing that the contract between them has been broken. He takes her hand, his favorability bar hitting maximum as he confesses he fell in love with her willingly, and she has nothing to feel sorry for. Overwhelmed, Luna stammers that they can't be together forever, but Amber pulls her into a deep embrace, whispering that this single moment is enough for him. As they kiss under the moonlight, a system alert chimes brightly, mission accomplished. Elsewhere, Laird and Ake watch the scene unfold, with Ake pouting jealously. A system notification congratulates player 381 on completing their mission, and the boys approach, asking what Luna will do now. Ake begs her not to leave, his plea echoing in the air. Looking at each of her loyal companions, Luna's heart swells. She assures them she won't disappear right away, deciding to stay a little longer with the people she's come to cherish. Her decision sparks immediate chaos as the boys begin bickering over who gets to spend time with her. Luna sighs, realizing that saving the world was somehow less complicated than managing a date with 4 suitors. After an hour of agonizing over which outfit to wear without showing favoritism, she collapses in a heap of dresses and tears, regretting everything. Finally steeling herself, she arrives at her date to find only Laird waiting. A cheerful dog named Barbara runs up to her, fully recovered thanks to Luna's intervention. Laird quietly thanks her, saying that Callista would have continued to abuse the poor animal if she hadn't been there. They share a tender moment, and as the sun sets, their silhouettes merge into a kiss. As Laird notes the time, Barbara suddenly snatches Luna's hat and runs off, leading her on a chase. She runs right into Nicaea, who is holding the hat with a knowing smile, revealing the dog was his accomplice all along. Nicaea has something important to show Luna, a secret he shares with a gentle smile. Leading her away from the others, he takes her to his private magic research lab for the first time, explaining he's finally finished his long-term project. With a tender look, he presents her with a beautiful bracelet, a new magic he created just for her. Luna is surprised by the sudden gift, and Nicaea admits he felt a pang of jealousy hearing that the others had all given her presents. But this is no mere trinket. He reveals he embedded a legendary teleportation spell into the gemstones, the culmination of his research. He developed this incredible magic entirely for her, recognizing her bravery but wanting to provide her with a spiritual harbor, a way to retreat when reality becomes too much. The word escape strikes a deep chord within Luna, triggering a flash of memory of her old life. The crushing debt, the lonely nights working, the constant struggle just to survive. Deeply moved by his profound understanding and care, she embraces him, thanking him for reminding her that it's okay to take a break. Later, Luna tests out the teleportation magic, marveling at its convenience as she arrives at the Valet Association, only to find the Grand Hall strangely deserted. Suddenly, a pair of arms wrap around her from behind. It's Ache, who cheekily informs her that he's disbanded the entire Magician's Alliance just so he'd have more time to spend with her. His possessiveness flares as he asks if she kissed Laird, immediately declaring that he wants a kiss too. As he leans in, Luna pushes against his chest, her mind reeling at the forwardness of his actions while a part of her feels a pang of pity at how thin he is. He challenges her, his voice a low murmur as he asks if she sees him as a man and demands she prove it. After somehow escaping Ache's clutches, Luna walks home with Laird, finding it odd that Ache let her go without a fuss. A nagging suspicion grows that they are all secretly plotting something behind her back. Her suspicion proves correct in the most shocking way imaginable when she opens her front door to find Amber, Nicaea, and Ache lounging around her room in various states of undress. She lets out a silent scream, utterly mortified. Amber smirks, claiming they're just showing her how well they all get along now, while her inner angel and devil argue over this sudden R-rated turn of events. Laird casually strolls in behind her, completing the set and leaving Luna's brain short-circuited by the sheer audacity of it all. Sometime later, Luna stands before the king, being honored for her role in saving the kingdom. She humbly declines any reward for herself, instead making a radical plea for the people to reconsider their views on dark magic, arguing that black magicians deserve to live normal lives. The king cautions her about the gravity of her request, but Luna stands firm, retorting that both light and dark magic can be misused. To her surprise, the king agrees, revealing that Salvator had already broached the subject with him. He then shifts the topic to the future of the kingdom, and Luna advocates for Amber and Laird to receive prominent positions for their loyalty. However, Laird stuns the court by respectfully requesting to resign from the royal order, a decision Amber immediately supports, adding that the Hughes family has many other capable members. Luna is left completely bewildered by their unified and unexpected rejection of power. As they leave, a coroner's aide stops her, delivering a strange, star-shaped artifact found on Callista's body. Luna feels an odd energy emanating from the object as she holds it. She takes it to Salvator, who delivers a bombshell. The artifact is Callista's initial character prop, a sacred key that allows outsiders to return to their original world. Luna is floored, realizing Callista had a way home the entire time. Salvator explains the game was originally designed for Luna and Callista to become friends, and the key's instructions were hidden in a dark magic book in the White family library. Tragically, Callista, as a programmer, missed the very meeting where this true ending was decided, dooming her to a fate born of stubbornness and ignorance. A profound sadness for her former rival washes over Luna. Later, in the White House library, on the verge of finally going home, she's found by Lexi and his wife. She apologizes for not being their real sister, but they pull her into a tight embrace, assuring her that blood relation means nothing and that she is the best family they could have ever asked for. At the temple, Luna stands ready for the ritual, but Laird drops another bomb, announcing that he, Amber, Nicaea, and Ache have all decided to go with her to her world. The boys all plead with Salvator to make it happen, their devotion to Luna absolute. Laird explains this was their plan all along, which is why he refused the king's offer. Salvator calmly states this was never a problem, as they were never meant to stay in this world anyway. He then reveals the final truth. He froze time in his own world, copied it into a game, and summoned people like her to save it. The boys, however, have evolved beyond their NPC settings and can no longer be integrated back into his world. He confesses that he had already planned for them to go with her. A wave of relief and joy washes over the group as they realize they won't be separated. Following his instructions, they all infuse their magic into the sacred artifact, which erupts in a blinding flash of light. 5 months later, back in her own world, Luna meets with Salvator at a cafe. He confirms his world has stabilized, and she is relieved to hear all is well. When he asks about the others, she explains they are all thriving, pointing to a giant billboard featuring Ache as a popular model. When she gets home, she finds a scene of domestic chaos. Laird is cleaning while Nicaea cooks, and Ache argues with Laird for mopping the floor he just walked on. Luna lovingly chides them, suggesting they work together to prepare for their guest. Just then, the doorbell rings. Her best friend stands in the doorway, her jaw on the floor as she stares at the 4 handsome men from the game now living in Luna's apartment. All Luna can do is offer a sheepish smile, admitting that it's a very long story.